let's talk about why you need an author website, in my opinion at least, how important that can be for everything that you're going to set out to do in your author career. And I also want to talk about the 4 pages that I see as most important to have on your author website. And just a heads up, I am going to heavily promote my friend Bethany who is actually I would say like a website coach. She has a business creating websites specifically for authors, and she has this website boot camp that happens every so often. It's like a month to create your boot camp yourself and to learn how to create all the different pages and kind of make it what you want. I went through that boot camp with her. I had an amazing time. Seriously, I can't say enough good things. My website went from like, that's a little bit embarrassing, to like, wow, that is so cool. And on top of that, as you all probably know, I was able to figure out how to make a resource library for writers. So the main reason that I think an author website and a newsletter is so important is because if social media one day, say the algorithms just went absolutely crazy and you couldn't even reach your fans anymore, say, let's go even more dramatic and say that, I don't know, like one of these programs shut down or changed the rules or made you pay for it or you name it, and you just weren't going to use that social media anymore. Well, how are your fans going to find you? Like, how will they find you? How will they know where to get information for you, about you, from you? I don't know what I'm trying to say, but you know what I mean? Like, this is your hub of like where you can be found on the internet. So some people's hub is like social media, but I would argue that that's not a good decision because honestly, especially with the algorithms, and especially if you're a business, which my Instagram, for instance, is set to a business because I am a business. I know that they're doing kind of a pay to play kind of thing, especially on Instagram and Facebook. I don't know about the other social medias, but basically, I'm getting seen less and less and less. And that's normal. The more that you grow, the more that Instagram kind of like, Instagram specifically, I don't know, other social media maybe too, really cracks down on you and makes it difficult for your readers to find you. So the number one reason that it's important to have an author website and an author newsletter as well is because that's how you reach your readers that's fully under your control, like completely yours. Your readers will always have a place to find you. And then the newsletter, I'm kind of jumping the gun, but I'll just say it now, is super important as well because that's the one place that you can always reach them. Like, you are guaranteed, if somebody gave you their email and you send it to them, they're guaranteed hopefully to get it, like maybe in their spam, but there's no algorithm preventing you and only letting like 10% of your newsletter subscribers see it. When you send out an email, it goes out to all your email subscribers. You know what I mean? So anyway, I'm gonna get off my soapbox. I am probably going to promote Bethany more in this video because she's amazing. She's seriously the best, you guys. So anyway, let me go ahead and flash my website up on the screen for you, and let's go ahead and start our tour. Welcome to my website. This is BethanyAutazadeh.com. I use something called Wix, W-I-X, and so there's no coding needed. This is all drag and drop, and I'm just going to go ahead and walk you through really quick. Before we go in more detail, I'm going to tell you about the 4 pages that I think are the most important. So your home page, which is like your hub, the central landing page where everybody should be directed. I think it should have the main stuff about you. Like, if they weren't to go anywhere else, they would be able to find the important stuff here. So the next one would be your about page, and then also a books page. So if you have books out, if you're published already, then you would put books you have. But also if you have books in the works that you're working on, you would put your WIP here and just let people know, like, not obviously everything because it's not published yet, but things about it, like the genre that you're writing or fun character details and pictures and inspiration and maybe a little snippet like a blurb or something like that that tells people what it's about. So all the fun stuff about your book, you can get people excited before it's even out. Even if you want to traditionally publish, you can start sharing things, and agents agents can go and look here as well. So basically, I think that you need a homepage and about yourself page to go more in detail about you specifically, and about your books page to go in more detail about your book specifically. And then finally, I think that it's really important to have a contact page. We'll go into that too, just some way that people can contact you. And then, just for kicks and giggles, I actually have a few extra pages. So as you can see, I have 4 writers. On my 4 writers page, I obviously have Patreon, which you guys have heard me talk about a lot, and that's where I have a writing coaching section. And you can click on that and we'll actually take you over here where you can either go directly to support my Patreon, which takes you to the actual Patreon page right here, or you can click on the resource library below that. So I obviously have a big section for my patrons, which is brand new. I'll go into that soon. And then under For Writers, I also have my YouTube channel because I give out writing advice there, and that links directly to YouTube and my channel. I have my Instagram, which links directly to my Instagram, which also I think has a lot of writing advice. And I link to my Pinterest, which I do have a bunch of different boards saved with Pinterest stuff for my books and for writing in general. And then I also do link my indie author Facebook page, which is this indie author support group that I made a while back just for kicks, where a bunch of us help each other out and we support each other through the self-publishing process. All right, so let's go back to the homepage and I'm gonna walk you through. Again, Brittany Wang has helped me set up all these pages. She's been an amazing support. I can't say enough good things about her website bootcamp because we had so much fun in it. And so she actually taught me how to do a, I don't even remember what this is called, this little photo slide thing of my Instagram pictures. And so hers on her website is like her most recent Instagram pictures, but mine, I went and picked specific ones that I really, really loved. Then of course I have welcome to my official website, my name. I have one of those taglines or whatever you call them, like 3 things that I'm about, so you can kind of get a good idea of me right away. And then I have a slightly longer blurb here, but not much, just a very short paragraph. And then you can actually click to read more, and this will actually take you to the about page. So I took Brittany's advice. I had a huge chunk. I moved that over to an about page, and I went ahead and just made it really, really basic right here. So, Minnesota-based author of young adult sci-fi and fantasy, a YouTuber, and a writing coach on Patreon. And then, of course, you can click on these links to find out more. Then I did make sure that my published books were right at the top. Brittany thought that this would be really important to include, and I agreed. And so I have links to them. And again, this is the stuff that you can find in here, but I'm just making a really quick summary. So Evelyn's Number, Pearl's Number, and The Confident Corgi are all also, they have their own page. So does the marketing series, so does the fantasy series, but I did include them here. And then I included my upcoming fantasy series and a little bit about it, and then you can click to that page. So what Brittany was teaching me is basically you want to make it so people can click around the site, and it's kind of leading them around to still stay on your website, but make it exciting and interesting and lead them different places. It took me a long time to figure out how I wanted to organize it, but I really like how it turned out. And so I just want to let you guys know right now that I actually am going to put book 3 and book 4 up on my actual website. So when I'm recording this, I'm not revealing it to you in the video, but if you want to click on my website link below or go to BethanyAutazadeh.com, you can actually scroll down and find out what book 3 and book 4 is, and I'm very excited about that. And depending on when you watch this video, I will very, very soon also have a cover for my new marketing book with author Mandy Lynn, How Your Book Sells Itself. So this is not the cover. These are obviously not the covers either. These are, what do you call it, placeholders, so that you could see at a glance what the book is about. Because I'm pretty sure when people look at these, they can get a really exciting idea of what the book is about. And so again, if you want to go ahead and check out my website, I want to leave some things for you to go ahead and jump over there, and you can scope around the website yourself, and maybe you can even sign up for my monthly newsletter. So I just like to give bookish updates, and I also give out this fun free 23-page guide to creating your personal publishing plan. And I'll talk about that in a second, and I'll give you a little sneak peek, but basically it's a printable template plus the 23-page guide here that walks you through basically figuring out when you're going to do your first draft all the way to what your publishing date could be. And it's more of a guideline to give you goals and deadlines to shoot for, which is really important to me as an author because I think if it's too loose, I never know what I'm doing. So I like to have goals and deadlines. So that's something that might interest you. Plus, of course, I will always be sending updates about these lovely books and my new marketing series with Mandy. Lots of good reasons to sign up for that because obviously, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, your newsletter is extremely important. It is the #1 way that you can reach fans without any algorithms getting in the way. And so I definitely always encourage people to create an opt-in, which is what this is called. It basically is something that makes people want to opt in. It's like a freebie or a gift, something that you can provide completely free that encourages people to sign up. So the next section that I have is I did want to display my Patreon page because again, like I was saying, this page is kind of going to be a very brief description of everything on your website. So obviously Patreon is a really big part of my website, so I wanted to give it a section. And so what I did here is I took a teeny sentence of the longer blurbs. Like if you go to read more about what people are saying about Patreon, it will take you to this page where you can actually read the full blurbs from Bree, Fallon, and Hannah. And these lovely ladies are just a few of the people on Patreon, and we have an amazing time. So I said, hey, do you guys want to write a little testimonial for me? And so let's go back here. But of course, over here, I realized that I did not have enough space, so I took just a teeny little snippet and I put the read more, and I also put a link to Patreon if people just want to click directly there. And I just love this photo. I don't know if you guys know this, but this is what I based my tattoo on right here. If you have ever seen my author tattoo, and I might put a little picture in, it's based on that. And then, of course, I wanted to put a little bit more about the books that you can actually buy. I don't know if this is necessary. I considered removing it, but this actually links directly to Amazon. I decided to include them twice. And then I also included my newsletter freebie. Again, just a little bit more about it so you can actually, says learn how to plan your novel from first draft to publication. So it tells you a little bit more about it. And then I actually have the video on how to use it. And you can see a little picture of half the template here, which gives you a little bit more of an idea of what you're getting into. And if you click this, I believe it will take you down to the bottom where every single page has a footer with my newsletter update. So this is just giving you an idea. If you're looking to create an author website, you can include that. You can include even things like your Instagram. For me, I really like Instagram, so I thought, you know what? I think I should include the things that are most me, if that makes sense. So now if you are going to create your author website, you don't have to pay for it. Wix actually has free sites. They have templates where you can start out, and you can also take Brittany Wang's course on how to create a website as well. But I really love Wix, and so I just want to take you through the other pages really quick so you can get an idea of what you might want to include if you make a website. On your About page, this is your bio basically, and it can be a little bigger than what you might put in a book. If you're looking to write a bio, I feel like that's a whole video in itself, but basically I would put I often see where people are from. I usually see some authority, like what you've written, whether it's a book or articles that you've written, or maybe an English major, which I have, but I decided to include that down here. So basically what gives you authority, and then you go into more personal stuff. So something about you that is going to be unique to you and exciting for people to learn. So for me, I put about my music and how I actually didn't write for a very long time, but NaNoWriMo actually brought me back. And then I just put that I haven't stopped. I did put the release dates for the books. This is something that I don't include in my bio, like in my book bio, and I don't include some of this other stuff, but I went a little bit more in detail here because you have room. It's your About page, so you want to include a little bit more. And I also did include my actual professional author photo by my friend versus the one that I took for a YouTube video. I pretty much copied this. I do think that sometimes people might come into a different page, say they're on the home page and they don't scroll down, but when they come here, they'll scroll down. So I think it's good and okay to repeat occasionally things that are really important, such as books. So again, I put my fantasy series, the marketing series with Mandy, and then I did focus on writing advice because I am a writing coach. So I wanted to point out that I do have a Patreon page and kind of give you the video that I have on that, and then a YouTube page, which shows you, I think it just shows you the most recent video. And you can set all this up on Wix. There's no coding. It's amazing, you guys. I really like Wix a lot. So then I went ahead and I put a couple author interviews. I had originally had these all on my books page, just one big chunky books page. And Brittany helps me organize and kind of figure out where things should go and basically just make it prettier. So it's a lot cleaner with all this white space. It's very beautiful. Now, I would love, love, love to show you all of these pages, but I don't want this video to get really long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop in really quick to Evelyn's number because there's 5 book pages and I'm very excited about all of them. I think they turned out really cool. This is called a parallax. So I just learned, I think it's called a parallax. I learned so many cool things like this. Like, how cool is that? And I wanted to put all my different reviews on the page. So blogs, Amazon, video reviews, Goodreads reviews, and also I have book trailers. So I put that at the bottom of every page. Now, I want to leave some things for you to go and explore and figure out. So I'm not going to take you through all these pages, but I am very, very excited about them. And I'm going to be including a lot more. Again, I'm going to be revealing the 3rd and 4th book of the fantasy series here. And as time goes on, I'm going to be putting book trailers and cover reveals and all that fun stuff there. Same thing with the marketing series. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. But I want to leave some things for you to go explore. So go over to BethanyAtazadeh.com or click the link in the description box below and go explore these pages to see what you could do for your book pages, because I kind of did some different things. And then last but not least, I did kind of already show you these. So just so you know, these 4 are all links. So they're not actual pages on my website. You can actually use Wix to link directly over to things like your YouTube channel, your Instagram account, your Pinterest account, and my indie author Facebook page. And I actually probably should be adding my regular author Facebook page and maybe even my Twitter, 2 things that I use less than Instagram but are still completely for writers. And so if you actually, I mentioned this already, click on the Patreon page, it will actually bring you over here, which I really love. Took me forever to figure that out, you guys. But again, I love this parallax with one of my favorite pictures ever. Again, that's my tattoo right there. And I just talked a little bit about what Patreon is, what I offer. I actually offer a lot more than this. I need to update this as well. So maybe when you go over to visit, this will be updated again. But I'm constantly updating you guys if you haven't noticed. But as you can see, I have a link to the Patreon resource library where, of course, you need a password. And if you haven't become a patron, then I have a link to Patreon. And the cool thing is that that's these 2 links right here. So again, a link directly to my Patreon page and then a link to the resource library. I know I mentioned this already, but I do absolutely adore these testimonials. So if you want to read a little bit more about how Patreon has helped people, go ahead and check out my page or just pause the video. And then I do hope to eventually include more testimonials. I'm not sure how many is a good number of testimonials, but I thought 3 was a great start. And before I take you over to the resource library, which I'm going to show you a little sneak peek of that last, I want to just really quick talk about the contacts page. So your contact page is supposed to be mainly for how people can reach you. So obviously you want to include your information. And I also chose to not just do my email, but to show my Facebook, my Instagram, my Twitter. So if you click on these, you can actually be taken to these places. And then again, I decided to take that same newsletter information that you saw on my homepage and put it here in case, for example, they get to the homepage and then they click directly to contact. Then you can see still what the newsletter offers. And if you click this, it'll take you to the bottom where you see the subscription box. Basically, the contact page is really just about how they get a hold of you. So just to sum up, it's really important that you kind of give a general summary of what's in your website here. Try to make it as clean as possible and short as possible. And then you can expand in your about section, your about me, like yourself as an author, about your books, whether it's your published or your WIP that you're working on, and then your contact page. And those 4 things are pretty standard for authors. And then everything else beyond that is totally up to you. So let's go ahead and take a look at my Patreon resource library, which, oh my gosh, you guys, I have poured so many hours into this library, but I am beyond proud of it. So I did basically just put a picture of the library here. This is actually a landing page, and if you click on it, it will take you to the password protected page. So to get into the library, you do have to be a patron. You have to have the password, which is something that I give you when you become a patron. Now, if you click on these, they are all individual, and so they'll actually take you to individual pages. The Discord group is actually one that will take you off my website to the actual Discord group. So if anybody ever needs the link, they can go there. The writing advice, editing advice, beta readers, publishing, authortubers, marketing, crafts, books, general resources, and publishing template are all sites that I worked carefully on and filled with links. This resource library has over 350 links, and it's growing all the time. I think I just added like 10 today. This Princesses and Castles one actually links up to my books page currently, but when I start offering sneak peeks and things only for patrons, which I have actually done, then they will be offered here where only patrons can see them. So I actually do have a couple things, like I already showed my patrons a sneak peek of the first chapter of one of my books, and so I might put that here very shortly on its own page, and then I also might let them see a sneak peek of book 1, like the final, before anyone else. So things like that are going to go here. I might include like a little link to Pinterest, which is hidden, but I might let my patrons see all the fun stuff, like this picture that I save on Pinterest. So anyway, that will be here, and I'm working on updating that. The publishing template is what you saw as my opt-in for my newsletter, but when you click here, it'll actually take you to the option to download the template right here and the instructions. So if, for instance, you signed up for my newsletter a long time ago and you lost it, you can just come here as a patron anytime you want and re-download it and see the publishing plan and see my video on YouTube for how I actually work through it. As you go through the library, you can just click back to library at any time, which I absolutely love, and then you're back to this page. The only other thing that links away right now is the Indie Author Facebook group. I think this is really valuable, and I always invite people to this if you are self-publishing. And so that's just a link for anybody who's interested. I'm not going to show you all of them. You have to become a patron to actually see all the links. But for example, I have the big category of writing tips and resources. Then underneath that, I have subcategories such as outlining and brainstorming, or your story techniques and writing hacks, characters, specifically world building, common writing mistakes to avoid, things like that. So if you click on any of these, for example, story techniques, let's take a look at that one. It will drag you down to that specific section. So techniques on plot twists or fight scenes or cliffhangers or showing versus telling, which is a big thing, friendships, and you get the idea. In each section, writer's block, I've just kind of organized it into mainly YouTube videos, but occasionally other things like a free ebook here. And all of these links, I just want to let you guys know that I get people questioning if it's okay to share links. These are all very public links, so they're links that people want to be shared, especially YouTube videos, because it actually helps out these YouTubers to get their videos shared. It sends traffic their way, and so who doesn't want to have more viewers? I'm connecting basically people who need writing help with people who are giving it, and I also include my own. Okay, why don't I show you one more page? Let me see. Oh, I really like these pages a lot. Let's go ahead and do the publishing page. There's actually a lot of information on the pros and cons, as you can see. I also included just general encouragement that I think applies to both groups. Then you go into traditional publishing specifically and self-publishing specifically. And really these categories are underneath self-publishing as well. The exterior includes like the book cover and the title and the blurb on the back, things like that. The interior includes formatting tips and things like that. Then you have actually creating a publishing company, print-on-demand companies like Ingram Spark and KDP and all that fun stuff, and actually tutorials on how to use them that I have created, and publishing costs by different authors, and just another section. Let's zoom down to that section just for fun so you can see just how much is on this page. And things like filing a copyright, or how to do pre-orders, or how to make a map, or how to choose a pen name. So you can see that there's just so much information on here. and I really, really enjoy this page a lot. This is all the stuff that I really wish that I would have had when I was starting out, especially things like the pros and cons. But then as you can see, traditional publishing, there's a lot of information out there, and same with self-publishing. There's so much information out there, but really finding it and knowing what to look for is huge. So that's my website. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions, please let me know. Again, if you ever want to just go ahead and check out my Patreon page, let me show you that really quickly. Basically, to get access to the resource library, to get access to the Discord group, you just need to go to the Writers Club here. To get access to the resource library, you go to the Advice Club. That's where it is currently. This is because it takes me a lot of work to maintain this library, but also my website does cost money. So this is paying for me to keep my website going. But that's the gist of it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and my website. Again, you can definitely start by setting up a free one. And if down the road you decide you want to pay for it, you can definitely do that later. I really do recommend Wix and Brittany Wang. I will put the links to both those things below, as well as the link to my website, so you can go ahead and check out book 3 and book 4 and finally find out what those are about, because I'm excited to start talking about these. And then also definitely make sure you sign up for my newsletter right here so that you can be updated when we have a cover reveal, not only for the marketing series, but pretty soon for the fantasy series. I think that's everything, guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely leave a comment if you have any questions, and I would just love to hear if this inspired you to make your author website. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you again very soon. Bye!